Hello world! I am Gladwin Ferris Telesario, a computer engineering technology student at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines Institute of Technology. Welcome to today's deep dive into the case that blends the realms of privacy rights, cybercrime, and child protection, all in the context of today's digital age. This case has significant implications for the legal world and raises important questions about privacy law, the use of technology in crime, and how we protect the most vulnerable members of society. Let's head into it. First, let's answer the basic question. What is this case all about? At its core, this case revolves around the intersection of privacy rights and cybercrime. The case questions how law enforcement can investigate cybercrimes involving child exploitation while respecting privacy and data protection laws. It also challenges the effectiveness of current laws to address criminals in the digital age. The case is rooted in the enforcement of several important Philippine laws designed to combat child exploitation, protect personal data, and regulate the use of technology in criminal activities. These laws include the Entitled Child Pornography Act or RA 9775, the Data Privacy Act or RA 10173, and the Cybercrime Prevention Act or RA 10175, among others. These legal frameworks have to balance the needs for child protection and the right to privacy, both of which are fundamental human rights. Now, let's dive deep into the facts of the case. The case centers on allegations of child exploitation carried out using online platforms. With the rise of the internet, children are increasingly vulnerable to online predators, and their data can be easily exploited. The facts in this case reveal how perpetrators use digital tools and online sources to carry out illegal activities such as child pornography and identity theft. Law enforcement agencies were involved in an investigation into these crimes, using data collection techniques to track down suspects. But here's the twist. During the investigation, questions arose about whether the methods used to gather evidences infringe on the privacy rights of the accused. The investigation involved accessing sensitive information, and the question was whether it was done legally and with due process. With all the complexity of this case, let's break down the key legal issues at play here. First, we have the issue of privacy. The core issue revolves around whether an investigation violated the Data Privacy Act when law enforcement agencies access personal data for investigation. They must do so within the boundaries of the law. Was there informed consent? Did they violate privacy rights by accessing personal communications or other sensitive data without permission? These are key questions that the court needed to address. Second, data collection is legal. In today's digital world, evidence is often gathered from online platforms, which can be challenging. Did law enforcement have warrants or court orders to collect this data? And did they comply with due process under the law when retrieving personal data from online providers? Third, we have to consider child protection laws. The Entitled Child Pornography Act is central to the case. The case is whether criminal activities in question shall fall under the restriction of child protection laws. In the context of modern technology, how do you apply traditional laws designed for the physical faces to the digital realm? Fourth, the case raises questions about the admissibility of digital evidence. Digital evidence like email, social media messages, or files retrieved from computers is critical in modern investigations. However, the challenge is ensuring that this evidence was gathered lawfully and adhered to proper chain of custody procedures. If evidence is mishandled, it can be deemed inadmissible in court. So, what did the Supreme Court have to say about all this? The ruling centers on how digital evidence and privacy laws should be handled in these kinds of cases. The court ruled that while privacy is a fundamental right, this must be balanced with the need to investigate and prevent serious crimes, especially those involving children. The court ruled that law enforcement agencies must follow strict legal protocols when collecting digital evidence. They emphasized that privacy rights are not absolute and can be limited in certain circumstances, such as when it involves protecting vulnerable children or preventing a serious crime. However, the ruling also underscores that data collection and evidence gathering must be proportional, justified, and done with due process in mind. So, what can we learn from this case? Here are the key takeaways. First, it's essential to strike a balance between privacy rights and the need for effective criminal investigations. In the digital era, privacy protections are more important than ever, but so is ensuring that law enforcement has the tools they need to protect society from criminal activity. The case demonstrates how we must carefully navigate these two competing interests. Second, the law must evolve with the times. As technology advances, so must our legal systems. We need updated laws that are specifically tailored to the challenges of digital crimes, especially those that affect children. It's time for lawmakers to consider how system frameworks can be updated to stay ahead of emerging threats. Third, Digital evidence is now a key part of investigations. Law enforcement must ensure that digital evidence is handled with care, ensuring its integrity. This case illustrates the importance of clear procedures to preserve the chain of custody of digital evidence so that it remains valid in court. Fourth and finally, protecting children online must be a top priority. Laws like the Anti-Child Pornography Act should be enforced rigorously, and we need continuous efforts to educate the public, empower parents, and monitor online platforms to prevent the exploitation of minors. Thanks for tuning in to this detailed analysis of a case that explores the intersection of privacy, cybercrime, and child protection. Once again, I am Gladwin Ferris de Rosario, signing off. Goodbye, world.